Terry Godwin only caught one ball, but it went for a touchdown, and it was a big one, 24-yarder that really ended up separating Georgia from Florida. And you're like, damn, you guys are talking a lot of Dogs today. We're psyched, man. They beat Florida in the cocktail party.
And we didn't have a Falcons game yesterday.
And we did not have this is not a Falcons Monday, ladies and gentlemen. This is a Bulldog Monday. And we're proud of the Dogs after the LSU loss and then the bye week. You go out and you beat Florida 36-17, pardon me. When we talked about Georgia, on their resume, they didn't have a quality win. They do now. They have beaten the ninth best team in the country, the Florida Gators, so they are resume building a little bit. But resume building doesn't really matter for the Dogs, John. You have to just win out, and I say just. I need to take just out of that sentence. You have to win out and beat Alabama, and then everything will be fine.
Yep.
And you'll be right back in the college football playoff. So style points don't matter for Georgia. Quality wins don't matter for Georgia. You just got to win. And, John, how about DeAndre Swift?
Balling.
DeAndre Swift had the groin injury and just lacked that spark and that juice early in the season. And he started getting healthier, John, before the bye and started having that DeAndre Swift trademark zip before the bye. But he was a different dude coming out of the bye. Like, Florida got full DeAndre Swift on Saturday. 12 carries, $104, 8.7 per. Obviously had the knockout punch touchdown late in the game. First time this year, John, DeAndre Swift has topped 100 yards.
There you go. There's Mark Richt's playbook. All 2 plays of it.
It says run and pass. And you've got so every receiver is on a go route.
Yeah, it's all verts.
So you've got no stick and nods, you've got no sluggos, you've got no slants. It's just all go routes. And then running here, you've got the QB in the shotgun.
Yep.
And then he's got the sidecar to the right, and you just run straight up the middle.
But notice what the offensive linemen are all doing.
They're backpedaling.
yeah,
so they're getting pushed off the line, huh? That's the plan going into the play?
That's what he calls. So we'll put that out on social media.
Oh, that's funny.
For all the people to see. I thought about, although I'm not allowed to wear Miami stuff on Wednesday, we're going to wear Halloween costumes, or at least I am. Paul, you going to wear a costume on Wednesday? I think you ought to dress as Mark. You know what?
I like my hair.
I'm going to dress as Rick. I'm going to wear a stud shirt.
Okay.
Actually, I think I have an NBA TV shirt that you've given me. I'm going to wear an NBA TV polo.
Nice.
I've got the same wig that I wore for Al Bundy. I'm going to kind of comb it real nice. I'll be Rick Kamla this week.
What are you saying? I wear a toupee?
No, I'm just saying you have more. I don't have any hair. No, I'm not going to be clean shaven. But no, I thought about being Mark Richt, but nobody would get it because I would just stand like a corpse with the play sheet in front of me. Either way, let's talk some Dogs. Big win.
Dog fans, your former coach looks lost. Like, super lost. Like, needs a hug. Charity always says, hey, stop complaining. Get some Swiss Miss and a blanket.
Right.
That's what Mark Richt needs. He needs Swiss Miss and a blanket right now.
Here's the thing, and I had asked this question on Saturday morning working with Randy and John. I said this was a moment for Kirby Smart and their program to kind of put them at a crossroads because you're supposed to win. You're supposed to get back to an SEC East. Even though this was a rebuilding year, so to speak, because you lost all the talent with Roquan Smith and Nick Chubb and Sony Michel and all these guys. He proved why they hired him. This was a game that the previous regime most likely would have lost. They've lost to far inferior Florida teams. Teams where Treon Harris was playing quarterback. Teams where Georgia started Fatan Bauta. You saw all of that stuff happen, and you saw Kirby Smart for 2 weeks. They got banged on, they got talked bad about, and they bounced back in a huge way.
I still can't believe they went with Fatan Bauta in the cocktail game.
I can.
I mean, of all the desperation moves, we talked about Kirby Smart should have played the Justin Fields card a time or two against LSU. That's like just routine behavior based on Mark Richt being so fed up with his QBs that he plays the Fatan Bauta card. What do you have? 3 first-half interceptions?
4. I think, or he had 4 total.
I think it was 3 in the first.
Yeah,
but
it may have been.
He had a Nathan Peterman game for our beloved Georgia Bulldogs. But DeAndre Swift really caught my eye in this game. And I also want to make another point about Mecole Hardman's toughness. When he got rolled up on, or however he kind of got rolled up on the side. I was like, oh, God, no. It looked bad. And I couldn't tell if it was like sprained knee kind of thing or like maybe the ankle get caught, but his leg was banged on in a very awkward way. And for him to come back into the game, dude, he is so tough. I love Mecole Hardman. Now, can we get him to rock a little bit more? 2 catches, 10 yards, and 1 carry for no yards. 3 touches, not including punt returns for Mecole Hardman. Like, I'm sorry, I mean, 36-17, we love it, we'll take it, we're moving on. But Mecole Hardman's role in this offense has vanished. It has dried up, and I'm not happy about it.
Now, one of the guys whose role has increased is Isaac Nada. Lo and behold, the 5-star tight end can make plays when you actually throw him the ball. Now, it took, again, a 2-minute drive where Florida seemingly lost him in coverage, and then Jake Fromm started going to him. The guy's a playmaker. He is a mismatch. Linebackers aren't fast enough to cover him. Safeties aren't big enough to cover him. They've got to include him a little bit more. Here's what I want to do. And Saturday, I said, man, I'm going to get to brag about my Jake Fromm prediction. I'm going to come in and rub it in a little bit, feel good. And then you kind of took the thunder away because you gave me props on it. But Friday, I said...
What else was I supposed to do?
I thought you were just going to ignore it where I could just roll it out.
No, because we bickered about it, and you were right. And I'm that guy. I'm a fair dude. Like, if Fromm would have had, 170 and a touchdown like I kind of said he would have, we would have had a different conversation,
sure.
But I got to give you that credit.
Here's the thing. I just felt a bounce back. It's pure luck that I said 250 and 3 scores. I honestly thought it was going to be in the 200 range and probably a score or 2. When he got the third one, I was like, yes, I got all 3 touchdowns on it. And he should have had a 4th one if they would have thrown the ball before the end of the first half instead of taking the field goal. The only thing I took out of that, Kirby Smart kicking the early field goal to go up 3-0 and the late field goal to go 13-7 was him thinking back to LSU trying to be too cute. He didn't want to walk into halftime with time running out. I thought they mismanaged the clock a little bit right there at the end of the first half. He finishes half times with timeout still in his pocket. But other than that, I thought Kirby Smart coached a great game.
Agreed. And now we have a difficult conversation because this isn't going to be good enough against Alabama, John. This isn't going to be good enough against Alabama. It's good enough against Florida. It's going to be good enough against Kentucky. It's going to be good enough against Auburn and Tech. It's not going to be good enough against Alabama, and that's really all that matters right now. Now, I know I'm getting ahead of myself, and the Bulldogs have to win some games in between. If they don't, I'd be hugely surprised and hugely disappointed. They're better than all these football teams they have left on the schedule, and they have the proper motivation to finish the job. Kirby Smart's coaching at the end of the first half was freaking brutal. It was awful. Who takes 2 timeouts into the locker room at half? Who does that? Nobody. Dumb coaches do that. And that was dumb coaching at the end of the first half. And John, it's not just Kirby Smart. I watch this in college football all the time. Coaches think that when you get the first down and the clock stops, that you're good. You're not good. Sometimes you need to bang the timeout after that first down because, John, when they place the ball, the clock starts running.
Right. 3
seconds off, 4 seconds off, 5 seconds off. Now you snap. You just wasted 5 seconds by not taking a timeout. And there were a couple of first downs that we got on that drive, and I counted. There was one first down, 3 seconds ran off before they started the next play. The next first down on that drive, 5 seconds ran off the clock before they snapped the ball and ran the next play. That's 8 lost seconds. So you should have banged timeouts right there and right there. Now you're out of timeouts, and now you have a couple more bullets in your chamber. And for him, at 6 seconds left, so at 9 seconds you run, I believe it was a fade route to the near side. It was a 3-second play, ladies and gentlemen. 3 ticks went off the clock. You got 6 seconds. You have to take a shot at the end zone. It's a 3-step drop, and the ball is out from Jake Fromm. And he throws it safely in a position, a back shoulder high, where only his guy can get it. And let's say that's a 4 or 5 second play. You got 1 second left to bring Rodrigo Blankenship out for a field goal. Kirby, I love the way you rallied this team over the last 2 weeks. And you got a 36-17 victory over Florida. And now everything is back, controlling destiny and all that kind of stuff. But your coaching at the end of the first half was brutal.
It was, and I was glad it did not cost him. When Florida went up 14-13, I'm thinking to myself, and I may have even said it on social media, and it was not a take like Mike Gundy said earlier on. I think at that point I said, this is why you got to go get points. If you throw it incomplete, Jake Fromm's a sophomore who started a national title game. You tell him, 6 on the clock, you got to get the ball out in 2 seconds. Hike, read, throw. Throw the same back corner of the end zone where it's either going to be caught for a touchdown or incomplete, and you're going to have 2 seconds on the clock to kick a field goal. I get it. You got a sack. If you take a sack, you may have even still had time with a timeout to punch one. But you tell Jake Fromm, just get rid of the football and give ourselves an opportunity, at worst, to kick the field goal.
We're nitpicking right now in our dog walk, but that's what we do. And Kirby Smart with some of the coaching fails against LSU. And so we're kind of keeping a book on this, right? It's what we do as sports analysts. But, John, there was another scenario. Where is it? I'm looking through my notes here. It was, all right, Holyfield on a draw play on 2nd 18 is stuffed. They do a check down to Swift to get into field goal range of the Florida 37. That's a 54-yard field goal, and then they line up in punt formation, and they do down Florida at the 2-yard line. Remember that? It was early in the game. What is Rodrigo Blankenship's max?
Probably 57, 56.
Okay, well, then I need to tee him up for a 54-yard
I thought they were going to do the same thing.
I'm sorry. Like, this is Florida. You just screwed up a kicking scenario against LSU. Let's go around the room here. Do you trust Rodrigo Blankenship from 54 yards?
Yes.
Do you trust Rodrigo Blankenship, damn good dog, from 54 yards?
Well, I trust him from the parking lot.
Preacher man, do you trust Rodrigo from 54?
Yeah, I would.
I would, too. Now, it's not 100% that he makes that kick, okay? He's not Justin Tucker or Matt Bryan, but that's at least a 50-50 kick from Rodrigo Blankenship.
Yep.
I got to tee him up for that field goal attempt.
I would have done the exact same thing. But in fairness, they played defense. Did they not get the fumble the very next play?
They got, let me look at my notes here. They down him at the 2.
And I think they get the
Franks
fumble.
runs out of end zone, fumbles recovered by UGA.
And then they had the 7 plays get stopped on the goal line.
Yeah. Yep.
So they ended up getting the field goal out of it anyway. It could have worked out better if your offensive line would have had any push at that point.
No, I hear you. I just, when you talk about, what happened after that, that's fine. But I'm just talking in the moment. You need 3, and you got a 54 from Rodrigo. You need to tee him up for that.